What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode 40 of C4SVillains. I am your host, JB, and I am here, as always, with the Council of Villains, my boys, Vash and Abe. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this episode.
Hey, what's good? What's good? Congratulations to Careful for Spoilers for episode number 40. Congratulations on surpassing 1,000 downloads. Honestly, this week has been a good week of just surpassing milestones for everybody, for every one of us. So glad to be here. You already know what it is. It's Friday night. It's Halloween weekend. You know what we on. All three of us, you know what we on. Shout out to Scuba Steve, who couldn't be here with us today, but you know he turning up tonight with the homie.
Yep.
And we're gonna hold
he
down
died.
For him.
And he died, went to Shadow Realm.
He's in the Shadow Realm.
No, Vash, only you get that treatment. Only you and Sam get that treatment. That doesn't apply to Scuba Steve. He holding it down. Shout out to all the veterans out there who are coming home this weekend. We appreciate you. We hope you have fun. Be safe. Definitely hug your loved ones. It's a good time for everybody right now.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned some milestones. Why don't you speak on that for Blerd Mind Pod and Osa and Abe?
Oh, well, first off, Inside the Mind of a Blerd, it is their 13th month of existence. They surpassed 3,000 total plays, 3,000 downloads. Shout out to the squad. Shout out to, you know, myself, of course, as an editor, producer behind the scenes. Shout out to the CEO, Scuba Steve. Shout out to another member of the OG Trinity, Misha KT. Bo Dun Did It. Shout out to our video editor, A Alpha. Shout out to the new members, Double O, Crystal Light, Black Hole Player, my big bro, and of course Hydro. They've really been doing the damn thing. And of course, excuse me, another OG, Skylar. Shout out to the OG Skylar. It's been really great to see all 10 of us really get together, grow over basically a year, and to get to 3,000 downloads. Honestly, big ups to everybody who supports us. For those who are still watching and who haven't listened to any of our episodes, go check that out, Inside the Mind of a Blerd. We're also on YouTube. We're on the road to 100 subscribers, so please go like our page, subscribe, share. Another milestone too is actually an Anime Lately one, a record number of plays on an episode. At this moment, it's about like 160 total plays, and this episode just dropped like 2 weeks ago. So Anime Lately, shout out to them. They're like 200 away from 10K.
That's big. That's huge.
10K. So shout out to all the people at Anime Lately. Ironically, three of us are here representing JB, Vash, your boy Prince Laburu. Shout out to Ray Apollo. Shout out to Sam the Manga Man, and of course, shout out to Spicy, and shout out to Zayed too. We appreciate Zayed working behind the scenes on social media for us. And last but not least, Osa and Abe podcast. It's been less than 2 years. Honestly, our 2-year mark is January. We hit 5,000 total plays, and I really do appreciate everybody who's tuned in to listen, because I know the road's been long. We've had a couple of breaks throughout, especially this year with a lot going on. On behalf of Osan, I thank all of you for tuning in. Thank all of you for showing out and supporting us. It really doing a damn thing. 5K in less than 2 years is a great accomplishment. It has me hype as fuck. We could not record an episode this week. It's been so busy, but definitely we're going to drop the celebratory episode next week. We're going to have a couple of SSAW friends on there for sure. Little teaser. we were supposed to drop merch on October 1st. It was Nigerian Independence Day, but it's been a long year, been a very rough year for Osan and I. So we are going to actually debut some of the merch at Anime NYC. I'll be there with Anime lately. I'll have a few items that I'll be giving out to panelists as well as some guests, whoever I feel like giving it to. But officially, the Ocean 8 merch will be dropping in January. Uh, the the uh, the arrogant voice in my head is telling me, "Hey, drop that shit on your birthday, bro." We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, it's been a good week. Just a lot of things coming our way and a lot of things working behind the scenes with basically all the projects that I'm blessed and fortunate to be a part of. Anime lately, we got Anime NYC showing up. It's gonna be a fucking great time. 10K is around the corner. Careful with spoilers, we got a special guest coming in December. That shit is about to be fucking flames. Spicy Lady. Spicy Lady is working on some things right now. Some opportunities coming up. Looking excited for that. Olsen Abe is, boy, them sponsorships are coming. They coming. So I actually, after this, I have to send out an email to one of the people that reached out. And just across, for all those who love sports, definitely check out the plethora of SSAW podcasts. We have our football podcast, Cover Zero. We have our wrestling podcast, Ringside Mayhem. For those who are devout wrestling fans, we had Moose, the wrestling god who just became world champion on Impact, formerly known as TNA. He was on the most recent, he was on the most recent episode, actually the one that just dropped today. There's some good things brewing with Ringside Mayhem. We have our Diamond Talk for all those who are loving baseball. Episode dropping tomorrow. And it's Reform Hooligans for those who love football. It's just a great fucking time. Honestly, I can't be more happier. The blessings that keep coming our way for all of us. Careful for spoilers again. 1K 40th episode. And boy, them Halloween wrecks. If you haven't been paying attention, I need you to get the fuck up and go. Halloween is on Sunday. You got over 48 hours to go and watch all them Jones because you and your shorty or your boo laid up watching some horror films. Some of them you can laugh at, some of them you could be like, oh shit, what the hell y'all put us on? So
or if you want to do some creepy ass type of Netflix and binge with some blood,
everybody Anime lately, careful with spoilers. Inside the Mind of Blerd has been giving you horror wrecks, so ain't no complaints about I don't know what to watch, I don't know what to read. Fuck out of here. You got all that shit ready for you. So just appreciate y'all. And yeah, let's get into this shit. You feel me? I took up too much of your time already.
No, you good, bro.
Let's get into this shit.
You good, bro. We're celebrating tonight. Vash.
Yeah, I got the tequila and the vodka in here with the strawberries and lemonade. You know what I'm on, baby.
Vash, is good to have you back on the show, man. Like, you and I started this together in honor of, our mentor, John Schnepp. 40 episodes in, man. Like, this is a great experience. Like, we always wanted to make this show, and it actually all came together at the perfect time when all of these different nerd shows were coming out every single week. So yeah, man, thank you so much for being here.
If I just wanna say a couple of words as well, and it's really hard to kind of follow what Abe said real quick because Abe just gave emotional speech, and I just love when when Abe speaks. But it's good to be here. Like, yes, I'm gonna be here for knowingly good 4 to 5 weeks straight on a Friday, and to be on this C4S show. Would I be on a hot guy episode? Who knows? But to be on the show that me and James created 10 months back, and it was a show that we were both passionate about, and to be 40 episodes. And for those that are listening, watching, for those that are just lurk and don't comment, we appreciate every single one of you that liked the video, watched the video, check the podcast on the audio. And for those days that I'm not here, I appreciate the Council of Villains, James, Abe, and Steve. These are people I love and love to work with, and how much that the brands of Careful Spoilers, Anime lately, In the Mind of Blerd, also an Abe, we just continue growing. We all just lovely connect in our own way, but all at the same time work with each other. And just to be on the show is, I was texting the guys that I'm excited. Last week I just kept telling them I'm excited to be on the show on Friday, and just to talk about Young Justice and just about the news, and just to be here on the show. And now I work in production just to actually be home on the mic and actually just talk to you guys and feel like not talking on the phone. And it's just damn hype. And I love how we're all growing. And what Ape teased as well. I haven't even told Sam because I tell Sam mostly everything. I have sweaters coming in for the guys, and I'm not gonna tell them what's on the merch. They're gonna just be wearing it on
I swear to God, if it's cheese and pancakes,
if it's pancakes and cheese, bro, I'm just not gonna say anything. I'm just not gonna.
No, I'm gonna punch him at Anime NYC. I'm legit gonna punch him right there. I'm gonna get kicked out. I'm gonna get kicked out because I'm throwing hands.
There is some neutral sweaters that you guys will like. And
okay,
shirts.
Neutral. I like that.
So is it just pancakes and just?
There might be one.
If it says pancakes, I'm rocking it. If it says pancakes and cheese, you get it fucked up.
We will see what happens on NYC, but the full merch will be fully launched in December. But we have some individuals for that weekend. If people want to buy some, I will have some or give some for free. That's all I'm gonna say. So I didn't know Abe was gonna give a tease. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna give the tease as well tonight. So let's go. That's about it. I want to say. All I'm gonna say, I love it. We're here, my boys. I love to be here. Chat. You guys could just lurk. You can always hit us up on Twitter, Discord, wherever it is. I'm glad to be here. And let's start the show. It's fucking episode 40, and we're back, guys.
Yeah, man, let's get it. So we're going to start off the show with a fun one for you guys. So Insider reported that Kevin Feige initially thought about killing off the 6 OG Avengers in Endgame, but the Russo brothers pushed back. And now all of this was revealed in the new behind-the-scenes book, The Story of Marvel Studios, The Making of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which I do want to pick up, by the way. So Joe Russo said this in an interview, in the book, talking about this with Feige. So we thought this was really, really interesting. I believe Abe brought it to our attention. He was like, oh, this will be a really fun topic to talk about on Friday. So Abe, I want to start with you. Like, what were your initial thoughts when you saw this?
Bro, I cussed out the Russo brothers. I'm gonna be real with you. I was like, honestly, kill all them motherfuckers. Y'all could have done that and just ushered in a whole new wave. I mean, for those who keep up with the comics, I mean, we have so many fucking Marvel heroes, and especially with I forgot what event it was where a lot of the OG heroes actually either died or went missing. That's when the Champions, the X-Men Champions line came out, and so you had Hulking, and you had all them different young heroes. That would have been dope. But then I thought about it some more, and I was like, all right, the Russo brothers actually had a reason, just because there wouldn't have been a smooth transition to the younger heroes. Like, as you know, we're getting Hawkeye next month. If y'all had killed Hawkeye, how are you going to bring in Shorty? Kate Bishop, how are you going to bring her in? At least you have some sort of mentorship with the Hulk. I mean, you could have killed him. We up until recently, we thought we were never getting a solo Hulk movie. Yeah, but you could have killed him and then just dropped a She-Hulk and worked it out better. But
then how?
World War Hulk. Well, for her, you could have used any other hero to bring her in. Could have been like, that's my cousin. He's dead
but
now,
the blood transfusion though, that's what turns into She-Hulk.
Like,
you can retcon that. You can retcon that.
So how does she turn into She-Hulk then?
Man, you know what? Somebody, the Thunderbolts, they were like, hey, Bruce Banner dead. Let's try this along. Boom, she gets and there we go. But
I mean, that's not far-fetched. They are working on their own super soldier serum. So
and plus they are making a Thunderbolts movie. Exactly. I think they just said it. I think a couple days ago.
Shout out to Baron Zemo. It might be a movie or a series. We don't know yet.
I would prefer a series. That would be dope.
But starts 2023 for production. I'm like, damn, that's 2 years away.
I mean, they got a lot of stuff in the pipeline right now. So I didn't mind it. I mean, y'all killed Black Widow, which honestly was a long time coming. And then y'all dropped Black Widow movie, which I did enjoy. Like I said, I've already stated my piece how I was wrong. Killing Tony, I mean, we knew it was a perfect way to get him out the paint. And giving Cap the ending that they did, they could have killed him, but they decided to give him the happy ending. Honestly, also fitting. So with the heroes we have left, honestly, a lot of them are working in that transition phase anyway. Like I said, Bruce is about to be, he's going to get his own World War Hulk movie, which is going to be kind of weird, given like the relevancy and the time that it'll be dropping is just like, all right, what is got to do? The Illuminati, as we know it in the comics, is not the same Illuminati that they will provide us.
Well, we
in the
know they're
movie
just
that
going to
they
use
go
the
that
title.
route.
It's not actually going to be anything.
Yeah,
like
it may not be that exact storyline, but we
And
also know
plus-
that he'll be in the She-Hulk show, so we get him there. Hawkeye training Kate Bishop, that's cool. You know, even though Cap is gone, he did pass the mantle on to Sam, and we already got Patriot in the show. We got the Winter Soldier still. Thor, yeah, he's going off to space, but we also know he's about to pass it on to Jane Foster anyway, so it works out well. I understand. Look, I don't understand. Y'all could have killed all them motherfuckers, and people would have been like, "Oh my heart, this is too much." I don't give a damn if people start crying because your movie did the damn thing. They're gonna be like, "Oh my god," because people were crying when Tony died. They would have had a wet works.
I cried more when it was Spidey, when he said, "I don't feel so good." I'm like, nah.
I was laughing, dog, in the theater. I was
laughing.
Yeah, I was
crying.
This kid next to me was crying. I'm like, he's fine. They'll all be back in Endgame. I don't know how people fall for these things. Like,
well, honestly,
Okay, but I knew he was
had
gonna be
his
coming
way.
back. I knew he was gonna come back.
Knows
But
they
still,
would
the
bring back
emotional
that.
scene.
how
The
do
emotional
you,
scene, like Abe said,
to chop niggas off, you know. I at this
the
point,
job got done. The job got done. They made us emotional. They made us cry. But I
they
knew.
made y'all emotional. They
Yeah.
made y'all emotional. Don't put me in that. I was
I'm just saying us, people in general. I'm putting us in a broader scale.
I wanted. Don't include me in the royal we either. I wanted Cap to die low key, but hey, that's neither here nor there.
Well, for me, I would say I'm on the same boat like Abe, because at the end of the day, the movie is supposed to represent the audience. If the director, the people want to kill the OG sticks, all right, cool. Then we get emotional. That's the point of the movie, aka like what you said. Spider-Man inside the movie of Infinity War, he died, but I knew he was gonna come back in the next one because we had the next other trilogy of Spider-Man movies, and I knew damn well they're not gonna bring Miles Morales, or they're not gonna bring Spider-Man 2099, aka Miguel. So like they're not gonna bring the other Spider-Mans when we just got Peter Parker, and when we literally just got Andrew Garfield and then Tom. They're not gonna do that. So I knew these characters was gonna come back. But inside Endgame, yes, they killed Tony. Yes, they kill Steve in a way to give a happy ending. Thor is transitioning out. Do I want it to go Jane Foster? No, I'd rather go to Beta Ray Bill more, because I would love to see an orange looking horse type of way.
but he gets his own hammer and he has his own journey, you know, because I mean you can do both. They've already shown it like 3 times in the universe, so
welcome back, Natalie Portman. You haven't been missed, but welcome back. You're gonna get the MCU money. You're gonna eat well.
They're gonna do her justice, bro. Because I'm not a fan of how they treated Jane Foster in the previous movies, but they're gonna do her justice in this, and she's jacked, bro. Like she did
her have
work.
A better series of movies than Chris Hemsworth. That's the sad part. Ain't it? I was talking to the homie, and I was like, honestly, you look at the trilogies of the OG members, basically being Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor.
But the thing is, like, they learn from their mistakes, though.
They did. For me, Captain America 1 was boring as shit. I mean, it took me. I slept 3 times trying to watch that, John. As in 3 separate occasions. Captain America 2, one of my favorite movies at MCU. Captain America 3, which is Avengers 2.5.
Agree.
Great, exactly for what they had to do, with what they had to work with.
But still not a great film. Yeah, agree.
No, I still enjoy. I mean, I tempered my expectations because it couldn't be translated the right way. They didn't have the full roster to do it. I understand.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you still could have made Ultron more menacing without the storyline.
No. That's Age of Ultron. No, I'm talking about Civil War. Captain America Civil War is basically Avengers 2.5.
Gotcha.
Iron Man 1 and 2, great. Iron Man 3 was dog shit. But Thor 1, Thor 2, Thor 3, they're all dog shit. The only great thing about it was Loki. Shout out to you, Tom Hiddleston. You're crazy, an OG. Bro. Appreciate you.
Thor 1 is not great to rewatch it. I would agree with Abe about that.
I'm looking forward to what you got in the thing. Hit us with a trilogy that actually means something.
I agree with Abe to an extent, because they learn from the mistakes. They see what works. They see what storyline and what directors and what is their type of direction within the storytelling for these movies as a series. So I hope to see much better trilogies. Like hopefully Captain Marvel 2 gets better in there than they said other stuff with what happened with the first one. But going back with the Kevin Feige, I would have been fine if they all died because technically most of them died in a way, which is getting transitioned. So curious to see how Bruce will be transitioning out because I'll still like to have Hulk involved in some way more than Thor. Because if Thor, Chris Hemsworth leaves and Bruce is the only one left, I'm fine with that because I actually would like Bruce staying more.
Look, once Fox killed Logan, any shred of emotion, of empathy I had went out the window. When Logan died, I died. So I could care less about these other heroes. If they die, they die. It's a circle of life.
I think it would have been interesting, like, to think in another universe where this actually happened, where Feige actually got the Russos to kill all 6 OGs, and then they had to find a new way, right? And they had to find a new way.
Imagine that's the what if episode for season 2.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see if that could be something they could explore. Because where do you go from there, right? Like, we have Natalie Portman taking over for Thor, like you guys already said. We already have Sam Wilson, Captain America. We're going to have She-Hulk. I would have missed Bruce, but Chris Hemsworth, I don't think he's going anywhere. Like, he loves playing Thor. I think he's going to be around. Yeah. Like, they might explore, like, just like Thor Odinson, you know, where he doesn't have Mjolnir and he has his own, journey after that. Now, like, so. Or, they can do the Asgardians of the Galaxy. That'll be really fun, too. So, I mean, it would have been interesting. I like the way it turned out, just killing some of them. And then some of them have to keep going on. They keep living while all of their friends die. That kind of thing. I like when films play with that kind of stuff. But yeah, it would have been really interesting if they all died.
Honestly. But I understand, it's better transition this way. Especially since, well, at the time, it wasn't completely solidified that they will get the full roster back anyway. So, that would have been a really risky gamble to be like, yeah, let's kill them all. And no, Fox will not give you the rights to all the other heroes. It's like, oh shit. All right, who else can we pull out from deep within the bag? Which other B-listers and C-list heroes can we call upon to help save the day?
And plus, actually have them be a good character in the Marvel universe and actually make them interesting for the 101.5 billion people to actually make money off and actually have people, sell hot toys of. Yeah, that's a big gamble.
Yeah, speaking of hot toys, I have to get that Infinity Ultron hot toy. I have to get it.
That shit looks so good. The first person I thought of, like, I bet you Chris is gonna get this, and I bet you he already has a pre-order already bought or something. Like, I knew it, like, once I saw it, like, yeah, Chris already pre-ordered this. But then when James, when Abe sent us in the group chat, I was like, why you had to do this to me? Like, I just got a new job. Christmas is around the corner, and this shit looks so good. I'm not trying to spend more money than I want to, and I'm like, man, this looks so good.
And payment plans,
and for the details in hot toys, as much as I say they're expensive, some of them are worth the price. Some of them are way too expensive. But this one is so detailed.
You have to pay for quality, man. Like, if you want
quality,
not that pricey you gotta pay for it.
Actually,
like, yeah, it's $425. Like, it's a great price.
Because there's one hot toy.
How gorgeous that thing looks.
Yeah. It's not that bad because there's a hot toy I saw. I think it's a Batman one, almost 1,000 or something. But it makes sense of how detailed the gadget is and everything. But still, 1,000 for a hot toy? Like, damn.
Yeah, you got to pay for what you want, and if you want quality, you got to pay for it. It is what it is.
My man speak facts.
Yeah, man. So I mean, I'm definitely gonna get that Infinity Ultron. It doesn't ship until like 2023 if you pre-order it right now.
Oh damn! Oh
yeah, but I mean, there's so much detail to it, so it kind of is what it is. But yeah, man,
I do want to add it's not really much news, but I love how No Way Home been promoting so much pictures, but almost is like the same scene, just different angles over the past week and so. And I just love how smart the marketing is. Like, you know what? Let's show Dr. Octavius one more time, but let's show a different angle, and let's show him running after Spider-Man from a different angle. I'm like, yeah, smart, because putting the hype and keeping the hype because we're only less than 2 months away.
And it could be
But
fake
yeah,
scenes.
it could be fake scenes. Thank you, James.
Because Molina fucking God, bro. We want to see Molina all the
Facts.
time.
So
But you know what? I'm gonna have an orgasm if they show me Defoe. God damn!
I mean,
I'm glad they didn't
you know
do
it's
that.
happeing, dude. You know
Yeah,
it's
but
happening.
But
if
it's
they-
just
if they
crazy
drop- if they
of
drop
the
this-
marketing team for
bro,
this. It's because they're
bro.
smart of not showing any more, just showing what they have already, just showing different angles. That's smart.
Hey, look,
And it's
looks like
annoying, too,
Molina
at the same
about to
time.
F up Tom Holland real quick, so I'm cool with that. But if they show me Defoe, everything is getting changed to a picture of Defoe. Honestly, the Ocean A podcast picture is getting changed to Defoe. You're gonna be like, is the William Defoe podcast? Hell yeah, motherfucker, because that's all
I'm just so
talk
curious,
about.
yo.
The fuck?
I'm so curious. How's he gonna look? How's his suit? Like, just to know,
Sexy,
10 plus years later, how
Sexy?
suit is gonna look. His
Sexy?
glider.
sexy. You
His
know that picture
glider,
of
his
Dexter?
gadgets.
When he's looking at the picture in his locker, like, I failed you, it's gonna be Defoe, I've missed you. That's me. So if anybody wants to Photoshop my
'Cause
face on
he-
Dexter and a picture of Defoe, please do that. I'll greatly appreciate that.
He
If I have free
loved
time, I'll do
playing
it
Green
tomorrow.
Goblin, so it's like he'll definitely be in a movie, dude. There's no doubt in my mind.
Oh, we know it. It's just I'm glad that they're not showing it just yet because like I said, I couldn't handle that. I couldn't handle that. I mean, I'm barely keeping myself together as is with the Chucky's TV series, which I got
Nick.
something dropping tomorrow for the Chucky. So for those who don't follow me on Instagram, I am going to make my first attempt at some Instagram shorts or reels or whatever they call them. So tune in because I got 60 seconds to talk about Chucky TV series because
Yeah, it's the
Orgasm.
show's flames, man. It's actually flames. Yeah, so let's move on to our comic book recommendation section for this month. We usually do comic book recommendations at the beginning of the month, but there was some other stuff that we wanted to handle up front first. We're doing a lot of stuff with What If that we wanted to make a priority. So we wanted to make sure that we got something for you guys in October itself. And what a great time to recommend some horror comics. So Vash, why don't you go first and show the people what you recommend?
So, like we said at the beginning of the show, me and James started this journey with C4SVillains, a show that we have a mentor from Josh Knapp. For those who don't know, he used to do a show called Heroes on AMC YouTube channel, then switch over to Collider a couple years later. And after a couple of years, he passed away. And me and James used to follow him a lot in his career, and he has done a lot of series, and he has working on a lot of projects that is very sweaty. That's his word. So me and James came on the show to call it the opposite. We're villains, and we were big fans of him, and we're big comic book fans. And like I said, Josh Knapp he's also some type of writer, and he has written this series called Slayer, and is a series that I highly recommend. Very graphic, so if you don't like really graphic art or really graphic heart, blood, really creepy detail of people getting killed, then this is not a series for you. But if you love horror like these two gentlemen here, like Abe and James here, then this book is up your alley. Is Bloody is a group of metal band that goes around and fights, kill gangs, and very bloody. And I highly suggest if I could show people some art, like the art is very well, very detailed, and very gruesome. And
Really
I
good
don't want
art.
to give too much. I really don't want to give too much away because the story is very condensed and very very simple. And I don't want to give too much away since I'm known to veste a lot of people. So I just hope that people check it out. Is eventually I'll post a picture on eventually we can send it to James and he could post the three recommendation that was posted for today, so people could also check it out.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking that every time we do comic book recommendations, I'm going to make an article with all of the information about each comic and each of our recommendations. I think that'll be really fun.
That'll be fun. and also to post a picture of each one on Twitter, and plus people could see it.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, what about you?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to first thank Frank Sinatra for creating this song that I'm just gonna sing the first two lines, and for those who recognize the song, you know where I'm going with this. I'm not a singer though. I really, so if you want to kind of take off your headphones a little bit or lower your volume, please do. Let me take this sip of this tequila real quick. Jeepers creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Jeepers creepers, where you get these eyes? Look, JB told me last week something I never knew existed. A Jeepers Creepers comics. I think it's 5 to 6 issues, right? I haven't finished it yet, but I started it, of course. And then just a few days ago, an announcement was made. Again, JB was the one to put me on. I literally woke up, was like, oh, what's this message in the group chat? What the fuck? What I said? I said, oh shit. We're getting Jeepers Creepers Reborn, aka Jeepers Creepers 4, aka not a hard reboot, a kind of soft reboot, but still part of continuity. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeepers Creepers, the first film, is iconic. It is mandatory for every horror fan. To know that there was a comic book that focused on his origin, baby. As the homie Cam, mama pod mother of Itma, as she said, baby. Look, I need y'all to go check that out. Jeepers Creepers. It's 5 or 6 issues. It's well worth it. And we're getting the movie next year or early 2023. Please go ahead and peep that. For all you who don't know who Jeepers Creepers are, go ahead and watch the first film. Watch how great that is. Watch how good that is. And then if you want to help yourself, go watch the second one. It's good. Not great, but good. So that's my recommendation. That being said, I will be back. I need to go make some more of this drink. You feel me? So I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Babe.
So definitely watch Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2, not 3. 3 is not good at all. Like, that director, even though he's a creep, was so close to a perfect trilogy, in my opinion, because I love, like, the level of camp and, like, the weirdness of the creeper. But yeah, definitely check out the Jeepers Creepers comic. Really, really cool. My recommendation is going to be The Conjuring, The Lover. This is a 5-part mini-series prequel to The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. I love the Conjuring franchise. I love the Conjuring trilogy. And The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It is actually my second favorite movie in the trilogy. And this, like I said, is a prequel to it. And it focuses on, if you've seen the movie, it focuses on the 2 teen girls that are a part of the story within The Devil Made Me Do It. It focuses on the one main character, and she's constantly being plagued by... trying to be very vague here because I don't want to give it away for the people that haven't seen it, but it's a really, really good prequel story to The Devil Made Me Do It. Reading it gave me some really, really good, like, insight into the film. It made me appreciate the film a lot more. And then at the end, at the second half of each comic, they give you a little side story of some of the creatures and some of the things that the Warrens keep in their vault, to show you, like, some of their origins, some of the people that have ended up using some of these items. So if you're a fan of the Conjuring franchise at all, I highly recommend picking up the comic. It is definitely worth your time.
Are we gonna recommend another comic next week, since next week is the first week of the month?
Yes, sir.
We should do a theme of what comic are we thankful for, like one that changed our mind, change our thoughts. That'd be a good theme.
Yeah, that's a great idea, actually. Yeah, we'll do that for next week. Really, really good idea. Yeah, so I guess it's time to move on to our Young Justice episode 4 full spoilers review. Now, this was a really good episode. Phantoms is starting off really, really, really good. Like, I think we're finally starting to get back to the Young Justice that I fell in love with. Now, like, I crap on Outsiders a little bit, but it was a good season. It's just not as good compared to seasons 1 and 2.
Like, like I said it last week, and I have to repeat myself short. Outsiders, I felt like they was too excited that they got greenlit for season 3 after 8 years of waiting for them to get renewed. So I think they just rushed the story and like didn't restructure or didn't do it some type of revision like to actually make sure people the audience would enjoy, because they just added too many new characters like a lot of people did not know or not use from the comics. So for that to happen, I feel like Outsiders could have been much better, but they learned from their mistakes where they are now. I feel like this couple episodes, we're only 4 episodes in, and I've been enjoying it a lot. I feel like with Magan and Superboy, good relationship since Abe is not here, because it's not toxic out here. We support people growing into better human beings, or aka overall people, because Steve is half Kryptonian and half green and white Martians out here. So overall, I've really been enjoying these 4, and I support anybody that watches it. Please do. Young Justice is a great storytelling, and it's hitting the spots of racism and other stuff that's going on with our own society, and it's done in a fucking cartoon that's done so fucking well. Because this episode, as much of what happened at the end with Superboy and everything, is more in the conversation of the prince and his ex-lover. That's what got me more of the emotional aspect. Like, yeah, storytelling wise, I know what's gonna happen with Superboy, but as a episode as a whole, I was sad, but more emotional with the prince and everything, because what he told my god and everything, I don't go for in details, but that conversation was real, because real life people go through that shit. Like, as much as you love somebody, not everyone is perfect. So I can't wait for us to go deep in dive about that.
Yeah, Abe, what are your general thoughts on this episode?
For those who were crying and felt emotion about the episode, I don't understand what emotion you felt. That being said, it was a good episode. I like the way it worked out. We got some closure, and of course, we got what I wish would be the end of a relationship. I don't really support, but hey, whatever. But it was a good episode nonetheless. A good episode 4.
Yeah, man, I really like this episode. I can't believe that at the beginning of the episode we had to say goodbye to Bioship. Like, Bioship has been around since the
Since season
beginning,
one,
man. Season one. And how long has the time span been since season one?
eight
Like, over,
years
yeah, I was just gonna say about 10 years, right?
from what I recall and did searches, 8 years. But hey, it could be less than 10. Let's just say less than 10. Still, that's the amount of years that Superboy, Garv, Dick Grayson, like all of them, like have gone through life, through missions, through fire, and through so many enemies, space, like through so many trial and error. And it's crazy that it just retired. So like, hey, I gave you a kid. Here's the kid. The kid takes care of you. I'm out. He said, like, he just left. I'm like, damn. It's kind of like a father, go grab milk and never come back.
Oh.
And y'all think I'm an asshole. He just triggered some folks. That's crazy.
So I also love that they didn't waste our time and we instantly got back to the virus bomb, because I was worried about that, right? Like, I was worried that we might take like a break from that and come back to it, especially all after all of the things that happened in episode 3. But instantly we see Macomb hiding the gas, and then he cloaked it in this like invisible cloak, and then we see again, like, and I think it looks like a woman. Vash was saying that it might be a guy. I'm not sure. I think it's a woman.
Oh,
But
I believe strongly it's a woman. It's just
Oh,
the
yeah.
way the eyes look, the upper facial
But
features look.
yeah,
They look more
it looked pretty
feminine.
soft. Yeah.
they're so smart though about that, because they never show the character's face. It's always the side and the back, so it's kind of hard to tell.
Oh yeah, they
what
want to
this.
build up the mystery.
Yeah,
And they
so the
have to be
mystery
from the
and
future, right?
100%, because if the Legion's here,
Right.
we said it last week or 2 weeks ago of how that these characters of the Legion is always here because somebody from the future escapes to come back to the present and cause something. So this person that we see in the yellow sphere that we have no clue who the fuck it is doing something that Tantrum was Superboy, and they still couldn't stop it, or maybe they did, but that's a conversation for later.
Yeah, and it's like, what is their purpose? Like, they obviously lace
And who's
that
giving the orders?
right.
Because is this person working on their own or working with Slade or Dark Side, or like who are they working with?
Yeah. So Abe, how do you feel about McGann like apologizing to her brother? Like that was really big of her, in my opinion.
I mean, someone had to do it, right? And we know that McGann is more throughout the 4 seasons, 3 seasons, and some change that we've had her. She's always been the I don't want to call her emotional type because I don't want people to get the wrong idea, but she's the one that's trying to understand emotions better. I mean, given who she is, being a Martian, it's just like, hey, empathy. She's emphatic, but she doesn't truly understand it. And she's been learning a lot since being on Earth, being around the League and the Youngins. So this was a good step in her character development to show just how much of human quality she has absorbed, just how she has grown. And so I thought it was very big of her to do so, and she tried. Macomb, he had every right to answer the way that he did, and he showed a little remorse too. Even though, and later on, the way that it was viewed was like, oh, he has something to do with it. It's like, nah, he genuinely feels that way, but he's also hard headed because he doesn't have those human emotional attributes just yet to be like, hey, you know what, you came to me, you took the high road, you humbled yourself before me, and let me humble myself before you. I like that. That's how we started the episode after the bioship thing. I mean, look, me, I ain't give a damn about the bioship. It's just, it's one thing. The same way, for those who read or watch One Piece, when the Mary had to go out, I didn't give a damn about the Mary.
You
So it's just
fucking
the same thing
lying.
here.
You didn't care
And
about Gwen Mary?
no, I was like, Usa, what is wrong with you? Get your head out your ass. Like, move on, boy. It's just a ship. We're gonna get an upgrade. It's gonna be even better after Mary. Basically that's how I feel about it. Well, good. Bye. Appreciate you. Thank you for your service. Let's keep it pushing. So
Yeah,
I
he
I
calls me
appreciated
heartless.
just
Shit.
I appreciate McGann's maturity in this regards, but it was a good scene, a little good discussion, especially later when we see Emery and her question and how she's trying to take that next step too. It just shows the influence that, well, to the Martians, that the outsiders have had on culture, but also again it points to the influence that the humans have had on McGann and how she's grown so much throughout these 3 seasons and some change.
Yeah, because it's like they are related, but he did do some nasty shit on New Genesis, right? So it's like, but I again, I do think it's really big of her. Vash, what do you think?
Abe hit on the nose on those last notes you said is she's been around humans for so long, and that's why John Jones changed the way he was the he is, and he has been leading the new age of the Martian. But McGann has taken that new type of leadership role of helping them change and grow for the better as Martians, because even much later on when the prince talks about the class system and the racial type of system there, like McGann was trying to talk to her brother, knowing that how girl was a kid at a young age, and girl was just wanting a better life. That's why people come to America, for the American dream and whatnot. And she just wanted to get a better life because girl felt bullied over there. Girl was not unhappy. And I love what her sisters said um to the Yellow Martian, telling her like, what my sister said to me is true, and how can I apologize to her? Like, that's you understanding your own emotions. And I love that, because us as humans, we don't even understand our own emotions, how we feel sometimes. We get depressed for no fucking reason. We get anxiety when we take an hour, 2 hours to find out why we're anxiety. And it takes us type of time to even understand ourselves. And for us humans, it takes us years. For the show, this character has been going on for 4 seasons, but it's been going on for 8 years on the timeline wise. And it shows how much these characters have grown, have changed. And yes, toxic relationship or not, but they have grown to be better people and a better understanding each other and their own. Like Magan, understanding to about her own emotions, talking to her brother and like, hey, I fuck up, I could have come and bring you with me. but can we bring some peace? Can we grow from this? Yes, you did your mistakes, you did this, but can we learn from this? Can we at least get to know who you are today? Can you at least get to know who I am today? And the same thing about her sister, I love her very much because her sister knows that she wasn't perfect either, but she wants to do better. She wants to actually apologize to her sister because not much people, not much humans, not much anybody apologize. People try to brush off and just say, "Hey, can we just do this? My fault," or like they try to avoid it. So I just love that very much of how this show does human emotions in such a good way. And we're not even watching humans; we're watching fucking alien species that are biracial. That's the fucking crazy shit.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like we're different, but it just shows like how we're like so similar in the way that we choose to segregate ourselves, even though we're all fresh flesh and bone. But I want to move on to the next part here, where we have Garth, we have McGann, and we have Superboy continuing to investigate the death of the king, right? And I love this. I love this sequence because I love when our heroes just get to do detective work. Like for
That's
me, being
awesome.
a hero is so much more than just like punching and kicking and using your powers. Actually, seeing them get to do real investigative work, right? Like Beast Boy figuring out, okay, there were seven servants that entered the palace, and only six left, right? And then they broke it down. They found out who the person was, and then they go to see the prince at his birthday party, and that's where everything breaks down. So, Abe, I want to start with you. What did you think about the investigative aspect of everything, and then the prince finding out that the love of his life was the one that accidentally killed his father?
I was one of those typical love stories that ended up in a tragedy. Like, oh, I loved you so much, and I wanted to plead my case, but things went kind of sideways. Somebody died. I'm so sorry. I tried to be better. Don't want to hurt you, et cetera, yada yada. I thought it was cool. I'm glad that we finally wrapped up that storyline. And to actually put a bow on it and say like, yeah, his death had nothing to do with the other issues going on. It was just a tragic affair. Um, I was cool with it. I'm not big when it comes to romance on television and media, so I didn't really care too much. I was just like, cool, unfortunate. Wrap that up. We move on. But I did like the speech that the prince gave. Oh boy, really thought before the prince gave that speech, the one who's been adamant about the
He
Asha
pissed me
N
off.
being, it I was
I was
watching it
hope
and I couldn't help but think of the movie Hotel Rwanda. I just kept thinking of it watching just how like, yo, where especially what the prince said later. He's like, how is it that people who can shapeshift are busy discriminating each other just off the color of our natural skin? I'm like, motherfucker, you
Yeah,
was
I
goddamn right.
wrote that dialogue down. It was so powerful, dude. Like, how
Yeah, it's just
preposterous
like
is it that among a race of shapeshifters, the color of one's skin defines one's worth? Like, it's
like
really
yo.
crazy.
yo.
It's
That
so
line was
powerful, dude.
powerful. Oof.
Is,
Like
is that line exactly that made me think of Hotel Rwanda? Because I mean, even though there are bigger, deeper levels to
I just
the
got goosebumps
conflict
from that.
that took place in Hotel Rwanda, because it's not just a skin color thing; it's also an ethnic thing. And when you think about British colonialism, a lot of people who were of different ethnicities, of different tribal groups, were kind of just forced together and been like, yo, you got to live in this border. You guys are not one people. There's deeper levels, but on a superficial level, I was just like, yo, I kept thinking of Hotel Rwanda. Like at the end of the day, all y'all motherfuckers the same color. All y'all people are Rwandans. Letting these tribal differences uh, dictate who's better than who and lead to bloodshed and civil war. I was just like, yo, this prince is getting it. DC is getting it. Like, y'all motherfuckers are shapeshift. Y'all can be whoever the hell y'all want to be. So why the hell do y'all discriminate? I did like that speech. I really did. And to know that we're going to, it's not cleanly wrapped up. Of course not. It's not going to be simply tie a nice bow on it, throw some glitter on it, be like, here you go, Merry Christmas. But I am glad that we took that step forward. I'm looking forward to how that will, I think now it begins to fade a bit in the storyline. it won't be the main proponent, but it's something that'll be working behind the scenes that will, allude to, have to deal with issues with. But now we can move on with the rest of the story, which is really focusing on what happened to Connor and the deals with the Zeta 2, the Legion of Superheroes. But that speech definitely by the Prince was powerful. It was really pointed, really strong, and honestly, for all those who are watching, again, I said this on the last episode. How can you watch this and not think about the current situation you live in? About how you live, how about how your fellow peers may live, whether you are a person of color or not, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're you're a member of the LGBTQ community, whether you are not, just like, yo, there's a lot of phobias that exist out there, and it's like, is it worth it? Is it something that you need to harbor in? People can be different. I'm not here for that. Oh, I'm colorblind bullshit. Fuck all that. I'm dark as hell. You can tell that. I'm Nigerian. I'm from Jersey. I embrace all that bull. I want you to see me and know that I am different from you. But that's what makes us interesting. That's what makes us unique. I don't want you to just basically like whitewash, overlook it. Like, these differences are important, but they don't need to be elements by which you say, oh, I'm better than so and so. No, what makes me better than you is how I conduct my life, how I perceive my life, the attitude I take towards life. That's what makes me better than you. Not my skin color, not my cultural upbringing, not the jollof rice that I eat that is superior to all other rice. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say that right now. Nigerian jollof reigns supreme. If you disagree, you can talk to the wall because I ain't answering back. And all that nonsense, So I do strongly enjoy what these comic book movies, shows are providing for us, the audience. And again, if you have issues with it, look, I usually say stuff on the Anime Lately account. I usually tweet some things. I won't say it again here just for aesthetic and professional purposes, but there is something that you can use an appendage to and I'll just leave it at that. Okay.
Yeah, man. I love everything. I love everything that you said. Like, and Vash, I'm gonna toss it to you here in a second, but I love everything that you said about like the segregation, even though they're all pretty much the same, and how that's exactly the kind of stuff that we're dealing with right now. And another thing that I find interesting is that these two different groups of people can see the exact same evidence, the exact same situation, and see two completely different things. Where one person sees, oh, because of this, this is the reason why we need to get rid of segregation. The fact that she even felt like she had to sneak into the palace, all she was trying to do was share her memories with the king so that the king could see how much she genuinely loved his son. But because of that prejudice, it just wouldn't work. If that segregation didn't exist, it would have never happened. The king would have still been alive. And then you have this other faction of people that believe, oh, this is definitely the reason why we need to keep segregation around, because if these types of people weren't around, couldn't be around the palace or even around these groups of people, everything would just be okay. And this is what we're dealing with. And we won't get political, but when it comes to like, being Democrats and Republicans and where that line crosses sometimes. So it's like, it's really political, and I love what they're doing. Like you said, I love that these like comic book TV shows and movies are bringing in these real world issues that we have to talk about. But Vash, what are your thoughts on this?
When people say that they don't want no politics or any type of real world issues, it's been going on since the fucking 1900s in storytelling. It's been going on in Shakespeare. It's been going on in comic books of Superman and Batman storytelling since it first started. And in Spider-Man, it's been there since the beginning. There is books of Superman being part of 9/11. There's stories involving that Wonder Woman is fighting for women rights since the 1950s in comics. So for you to say there's no politics, it's been there since the beginning. It's just more upfront because we're in a day and age where it's social media in a matter of a second. Back then it was a newspaper, so people find that much later. But that's my 2 cents of that topic, that people ask about politics and everything and real life issues. It's always there. You cannot escape from it. It will always be there. So you either don't watch it, don't avoid it. That's it. But about this, James, you hit it on the nose, and Abe as well. When when the queen right hand man came out and said, like, look at this. This is why we should have the ranking system because of this type of reasoning is the reason how King died. Once this guy was speaking, I'm like, can somebody kill him? Can somebody kill him? Like, I never felt like there's one character I hate in anime manga currently for over the years is a Black Clover, the king in the Clover Kingdom. That's one of the dudes I want to just to be killed. Like, I've said it in the Black Clover reviews. I've said it to the guys. Like, I just want this one person to die. And in this show, like, this dude just twisted the words. This is the type of person that will twist your evidence, that will twist what is proof and concrete. When even the prince said she shared her memories, it was an open mind. Like, she literally gave you the proof and concrete that it was an accident. It was not on purpose. It just girl could not control her magic. And the guy literally twisted the whole shabam, saying that this is why we should have a ranking system, and that everyone was agreeing. I'm like, no, you idiots. He's making you see not the truth, that we should have a change. And I just love how the prince just walked up and literally took center of the stage and shut him up. And even the queen, his mom, supported him and said, like, look at this, my son. And I love what she commented saying, we will come back to this topic because this comes to prove of what we need to continue to talk about. And I'm like, love it. The mom realized what her father, what her husband, the king, was trying to bring to the people in the next age of the Martians. And I love that very much because it showed. And to add as well, even the guy that had the scar that was part with the lady, when McGann and Superboy and Garth went to speak to him, even Superboy and Garth asked, why speak now to us? I love what he said to our girl McGann. He's like, oh, it's because she's a white Martian. She's one of us. She will actually believe me and not think that I'm trying to, lie or say that it was a green Martian, trying to lie as a white Martian because I said this reason. I love how he didn't go to nobody else because who would believe the white Martian because they are segregated, racist, and all that. But he believed in McGann because he believed that the next hope of age to change in Mars. So I love that, knowing that McGann, is starting and as rebellion with that aspect in Mars and hopeful new age, and hopefully within the season, even if we do leave Mars, hopefully we do get some cutscenes and hear some type of information that Mars is actually improving, because I would like to know about that. Like, once Superboy and them come back to Earth and everything, I would like to hear some type of information from the sister, knowing that, hey, we have been improving. There's no more rankings. Houses are getting better. Back where all the white. I'm being optimistic to hope we hear something in the later half of the season. Maybe I'm being too optimistic, but it would be nice to see some type of change, and maybe the prince is actually leading that. That would be really awesome too. So I love the speech. My dude was on the nose, and to see that, yes, Abe is on the nose about the love quarrel. It's been used a lot that it was by accident and she didn't try to kill it. But what hurt me the most is when the prince told my God, when you see your lover being arrested and you cannot do nothing because you're in the position you are because you're a prince, but you can't do it because she killed your father and it wasn't on purpose. That is what hit me, because in your position, you can't do nothing because she was to blame. She did it, but not on purpose. It was on accident. So you can't really do much about it.
I love that you see that Carr saw McGann as like a leader of the next wave and like a rebellion, like you were saying. Like, I love that you saw that. For me, all I saw was like someone just felt comfortable talking to someone else that looked like them. Because, I mean, we have to be real, like, you feel more comfortable when you're around your own people sometimes, right?
Of course, yeah.
Like, in certain situations. So, like, in that situation, especially with everything that he's been through, he's obviously been someone who wants to do the right thing, but because he spoke up against the Garoons, obviously, like, whatever happened to him, like, he was injured for that, right? So someone attacked him for that. So he feels comfortable talking because he's talking to someone else that's like him. So I do like that you saw that. But for me, that's what it was for me, and it also just shows like it's just so relevant to what we deal with now, man. Like I just love how it's all coming full circle, and how again just using these mediums to show people what the world is right now and how we need to change. And it's like we've been dealing with racism for hundreds of years. It's not gonna change on Mars for a long time. But I agree with you, Vash. I do want to see the prince take steps, and I want to see people following him take him steps towards eradicating this segregation so that there can actually be peace on the planet.
And I love how is the hope that continues with the heroes, of what Superman all stood for is like hope for a better tomorrow. And it's just the prince and everyone else is just hoping that they can actually do something with this. And that's what I'm glad to hear and glad to see. And it sucks for the prince in the position, but overall, I can't wait to see what happened with Superboy in the next topic.
Yeah, I mean, I feel so bad for the priestess, man. Like she was studying magic, found the love of her life, stopped studying that magic, and then it got out of control, out of the fact that she was just trying to get the blessing from the love of her life's father to be with him. Right? It's just really tragic to me.
Bro, what I think the thing is that, and no, I'm not about to make fun of her love for what and her whatnot. Like that's cute and whatnot. I don't really care. What I wanted to focus on was like, yo, just because the king was like, oh yeah, we're all different people, he was still ignorant. He was still low key like discriminatory. He was like, hey,
Yeah, when it came to his own family.
yeah, it's like, look, Asha and the whatever starts with a G word. I had it last week. I don't have it right now. The Garoons is like, hey, y'all the same. However, me and my family, we different. Y'all not us. So I like to keep it pure blood. I don't want no muggles or no mudbloods in my circle. And it's just like, hey, you were almost there. You had taken the steps forward, but then you took some steps back. So honestly, his death was fitting. It was just like, hey, at the end of the day, ignorance is gonna get you in trouble regardless. If you're not 100% of the way, are you really there? Are you really progressive as you think? You're not. I mean, he was still very much discriminatory of others. He was still very much, I don't want to say racist, because it was not a race thing. It was more so like royalty versus basically everybody else. But
Right.
still, you still held ignorant beliefs. So you weren't perfect. You weren't this savior that some people wanted to tout you as, which is what Macomb had talked about in that first episode too. He's like, hey, the king is dead. So what? He wasn't really our ally. However, we did lose a little bit of the progress that we had.
Right.
It was rolled back. So it's just like, I mean, at the end of the day, they were still basically at square one regardless. So I appreciated that we still, that DC and Young Justice still highlighted at that point, like, nah, he wasn't all the way progressive. He's not really a savior. Unfortunate that he died, of course. Not saying that murder is justified and whatnot. But again, we're not gonna say like, hey, yeah, man, this man was special. He was super progressive. He was gonna lead. Excuse me. He was gonna lead everybody to promise that. No, he wasn't. He still had his discriminatory beliefs. I appreciate
But
that.
I also want to give props. I also want to give props to the writing for this season of how well it doesn't feel forced. It's very natural and it's very real world to what we're going through right now. But it's being done in a cartoon, like with our comic book heroes as well. So I really want to give props to the writing of how well they're giving us the story and more story with the Martians that we barely get in the comics. Like, yeah, we do get the Martian Manhunter comics, but they're short-lived because not a lot of people read them, buy them, so they're shortly canceled. So to get it in this animated arc, who knows how long more type of episodes we're gonna get for this in Mars. But just this much, I'm really enjoying it. 4 episodes in Mars, getting to know about the white Martians, the green Martians, the red ones, the yellow, and more about the magic and how we got control of them. The priest, once you priest, you're gonna be by yourself forever. So these type of things we're learning just about a whole race is really beautiful. So I really appreciate that for the writing team.
Yeah, I agree completely, man. And I actually think that we might spend maybe 2 more episodes on Mars. Maybe one, maybe I think one for sure, but maybe two, because McGann knows the Macam has something to do with it. She knows that he had something to do with the virus itself. And then we have to talk about this mystery person that added this bomb that had trace elements of kryptonite, right? So we got to talk about that too. So Superman and Martian Manhunter show up on Mars, and then again the mystery woman shows up, puts the bomb on top of the gas, and then Superboy, weakened, is punching through the floor trying to get the bomb into the lava so that it can destroy any of the elements in the gas to protect the Martian. So this was very, very heroic for him. He put everything on the line for this, and then the bomb explodes, and then we don't know that it's laced with kryptonite until Superman shows up, and then Superman starts to fade, and he's weak because it's in the air, right? And then it is believed that Superboy may have perished, but the Legion of Heroes, we know that they were on their way to try to catch this mystery woman. I think we can confidently say that this person was the reason why they came back to this time. This is their mission, to get this woman. So I really liked all of that stuff. It was a great cliffhanger. I thought it ended well with McGann crying over the credits. But Vash, I want to start with you, and I want to get your thoughts on that final scene.
Well, you just said, when I was watching it late night last night after the podcast, and I was just watching the episode, and after the credits, she was crying and crying. And I'm like, they did have recorded her crying for almost 2 minutes. This voice actress that was just crying. Like, okay, they giving us the emotional part that she was just dreading that her husband from Earth, half human, half Kryptonian, just died. On Mars, they're not technically married yet, but to say that she just lost her husband to her eyes because she cannot feel the whole psychic link of his. But if she can't feel it, he probably got saved by the other chick that have a psychic link that could probably block him out, because they know that Superboy was a target. So maybe they're blocking out the psychic link so Superboy.
Well, McGann blocked her, so that's why she can't sense them, because she blocked them. And I mean, why would she think that he's with the Legion, so
so it's kind of vice versa thing. So it's very interesting with the cliffhanger. Like, it really makes me know what's episode 5. Like, it's actually got me hyped to see episode 5, to know where are we going to lead into with this type of Legion of Heroes, and what are they going to do. Are they going to reveal themselves next episode, have Superboy there, be like, hey, we saved your husband, we here because Superboy was being targeted, we don't know why, we don't know what happened, so we save him. And to see Superman there, like, I'm curious to see his reaction too, because that was technically his half brother, half son in a way. So curious to know how's that gonna go. Like, how does he feel losing Connor? Because technically 8 years ago he didn't give a shit about Connor. Now he has a build relationship. He taught him skills. He taught him how to fight. So now I'm curious to see how Superman feels about this as well.
Yeah. Abe, what are your thoughts on this final scene, final sequence?
For me, look, I mean, if you don't know what my stance is on these two as a couple, or my ideas of romance, then
you love them.
I have to break it down to you. I was like, okay. I kept the show going because I thought we was gonna get more, and I said, wait, are they really about to give me like 2 minutes of her just crying there? I said, wow. And at that time I was like, let me go make me this drink, my first cup. Hopefully when I come back, she done crying. No, she's still crying. All right, let me just take a couple sips. Overall though, I thought, at the end of the day, I'm a big Superman fanboy, as everybody here knows, especially JB, as you well are aware. So I'm like, ain't no way they took out my boy Superboy like this. His name ain't Wally West. Let's be real, okay? And so I was just saying,
too soon.
He's when is ever the right time with a speedster, to be honest?
Right.
But I thought that, hey, it was very noble of him, but we knew that he would be saved. I mean, the Legion of Superheroes, how many episodes have we gotten? Like, oh, gotta be careful, Magan, she can sense us, she's blocking our presence, yada yada yada. Then all of a sudden we see a shadow. Look, how many times have we watched shows, movies where until we see a body, that motherfucker ain't dead. Right?
Even if we see the body, the body probably
especially when you gotta deal with the shapeshifters, you gotta deal with time travel. Until the writers say like, "Yo, Abe, he dead. Let it go."
Exactly. Until that happens, he ain't
Connor's alive. He got saved last minute, so he's about to interact with the Legion of Superheroes first. That's gonna be interesting. I don't know whether they let us see that in the next episode, and we wait until episode 6. Kind of build up the emotional hype. Like, oh my God, it's so sad. Connor is dead. Oh no, she's crying. She's gonna cry some more for half the episode. What's gonna happen? But I thought it was very well done. I mean, it was very Superman-esque thing to do, to be like, nah, I got this. I'll sacrifice myself. Kind of disappointed he didn't recognize the kryptonite. Whether, using his X-ray vision or whatnot. I mean, anything that glows green like that, in my head, I'm automatically thinking kryptonite. You feel me? I've read too many Superman comics.
He was just focused on McGann, man. Like, he was just focused on McGann and like making sure everyone was safe, and
he could have died. You see right there. Do you see why this relationship is terrible for him? You see?
You would look out for your girl.
Focus on life. I'm not Superman. I'm not Superman. I'm not Superboy either. I'm just Abe. That being said, though, I really did like it. I know it tugged at people's emotional heartstrings. While it didn't tug at mine, I do appreciate shows or films that do that, because it really shows that people are invested in your show. And, we've been waiting for Young Justice for so long. We've been pining over it. We've been enjoying it so much that it's good that fans are still feeling that emotional tug. But overall, this was a good episode for me. Magan, you're fine. Get over it. You'll find your boy again. Whether you guys should stay together is a whole nother discussion, I guess. But you're good, shorty.
Vash, any predictions for the next episode?
I was just gonna tell you guys, for the next episode, Titus called Tale of Two Sisters.
So we're not going to see Connor then. He's going to be chilling with the Legion a little bit longer. We're going to get more development between Emery and McGann, which I did like, because remember earlier, Emery was like, what do I do? I was in the wrong. I abandoned my sister. I abandoned my brother. I wanted so much to not be seen like them that I adopted my uncle's name. And Shorty the priestess was like, just say you're sorry. And for me, that sorry that she said to McGann as she hugged her, it wasn't, part of it was for Connor, but it was really just like, I'm so sorry I was never there for you as a sister. I'm so sorry that I abandoned you, that I turned my back on you.
But now's the perfect time.
We do need that. Yeah, exactly. So it's great that the title is called that, because we do need that now. McGann is heartbroken. She's devastated. Emery, now is your time to really show that, hey, I do care about my sister. And I do realize that I failed as a sibling. So here's my chance to try to make up for it. It's definitely going to be a little awkward, because, I mean, there is separation in terms of they didn't really grow up well together. So we can't expect them to click. There's going to be a little clashing, like, hey, you don't understand my pain, Emery. You don't understand what I've gone through. You don't really care. And Emery like, no, I do. I care about you. I'm so sorry. Like, but I'm still struggling, because these are human feelings, human emotions that I haven't spent time around. I don't really understand it. I'm a scientist first. As she said, I'm a scientist, atheist. Like, this all stuff, yeah, there's a lot of unconditioning that needs to happen. So I'm glad that this is the title of the next episode. I'm glad we're going to focus on McGann and her relationship with Emery, possible development, and we'll get Connor, sometime. Let my man rest, yo. Let my man rest. He been carrying the show for a while. He been doing a lot of the back-breaking work. Don't treat him like Wally. His name is not Wally West. His name is Connor. Okay. It is Connor Luther Kent. Okay, so let him rest.
He's not a Luther.
Let him have this moment. Yes, he is a Luther. Excuse me. He is a Luther. Let's not forget, we don't cut out people's lineage just because we may not like their father.
Connor disowned him back in season 2.
Connor can disown him. He's still part of his bloodline. As Gar mentioned, Gar was like, "Hey, you're not
That's
gonna
true.
mention the
That
Luther part," and it's like, "Boy, shut up." He's like, "No, he's right, he's right."
yeah,
Except
that's
both
still
your
no.
daddies, okay?
But to add from that, in the synopsis, it does say the tale of two sisters, but also says that we'll be it says that we will be clearing the air around Superboy's fate, and it says that would would his sacrifice open the discriminatory eyes of the Martian to value one another? Quality question mark. So that's a thing that is a good question. Will if Superboy's the death is real, would it actually help the Martians to realize like, yo, we should, be together as a people?
Oh
But
no,
I know damn well that ain't gonna happen though. Cause I'm like,
They
why
don't
you had
even
that?
like him. They don't like Superboy because he's an
He's an
alien. They
outsider.
don't like him. So they're
So
definitely not gonna sing "Kumbaya" in a circle because some random alien died on their planet,
and trying to
even if
save
it
them.
was
hey,
protecting them.
people die every day, B. That's what they about to
Facts.
say. Like, hey, I mean, our king dead, so outsiders they die. Well, we watch enough TV where people die every day. Anyway, and he about to come back because don't they always come back at some point? Like, he fine, good. Hey, isn't
One,
that his daddy over there? He can make some more. Hey, yo, Superman, go make some more.
yeah, clone him again. Clone him. With Luther again. One more. But if he is dead, I'm curious to see if we get this. If we don't see him for a while, if we're gonna get Dick Grayson reaction because he already lost two of his best friends. If Superboy does stay dead for a while, he lost Wally, he lost Superboy. The only best friend he has left is our boy Aquaman. So that'll be curious to see their reaction if this does come to be.
Yeah, it won't be. Superboy will be back and everything will be right with the world. But I really like this episode a lot. I'm really looking forward to the next episode for everything that we already talked about. I'm very excited to see Megan's relationship with her sister get better. I would love to see her sister apologize to the brother as well for also neglecting both of them and choose popularity instead of her own family. So I would like to see all of these family bonds be resolved before we leave Ma'ar. So very excited for the next episode. Any other final thoughts before we wrap up for the night, guys?
Shout out to Superboy. That's all I gotta say.
Shout out to the beautiful relationship of Magan and Superboy. They have such a flourish flower relationship that has grown and spurred to such a beautiful flower. Rainbow.
Well, there are flowers that stink. That the one that starts with an R, the Rafflesia or something. That's the
I don't
flower
know.
you're referring to.
I have to look
The
that
the
up.
stinky flower. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's real. It's real. It stinks. It's basically just ugh. If
I
that's
love
the
how
flower you're
Abe.
referring to, Vash, I'm cool with that
I
because
love how
it's
Abe
the
just turned my
relationship stinks.
whole analogy just downwards, and I'm like, damn, this dude, it's just ruined it. But overall, I'm just excited to see episode 5 and what's the turning events of this, and this season really has me on my toes, wanting more instead of just waiting. Because season 3 Outsiders, I was just waiting. I'm like, cool, I'll just review it next week with Sam and everything. But now with these type of episodes ending off with cliffhangers, it makes me more like, where are we gonna go next? How many episodes are we left in Mars? So it really makes me curious to see.
Yeah. All right. I think that's a good wrap up point. Really,
Damn,
really
Sam.
great episode.
That comment.
Maybe Connor should be.
He should have kept some. I think he did, but then he dropped them in season 3 because he felt like he was becoming too much of like his other father, aka Luther, like Abe said. So it could be the case why he didn't keep the patches instead, like after them. He'd rather be more like his other father, Clark, and more like himself instead of trying to take, like the full Kryptonian. But Garth to see also, I really really want to see Garth reaction because we only saw him again. We didn't see Garth reaction a lot. We just saw him reacting, but I want to see how is he handling this emotionally
He's
as
gonna
well,
lose it.
since he was already emotional about losing the prince before back in back in back in season 3. So to lose his actual best friend, his big brother, this would be interesting to see too.
Yeah, at this point, the writers won't give a damn about Garth. They're just like, hey, yo, how can we break you even more? Because that man has been breaking each and every single episode.
But yeah,
Yeah, man. Very excited for next week. But we're gonna wrap it up for the night. Wanted to have a nice, quick, fun episode for you guys. It's Halloween weekend. Go
Oh
have
yeah,
some
we got
fun.
horror movies to watch. Yo.
Yeah, man.
Stop it.
We got dozens. I have a whole list. So Sunday, my girlfriend and I are gonna be binge watching horror movies all day. So I'm gonna be live tweeting the movies that I'm watching. We're gonna be watching a lot of South Korean horror movies, some Japanese horror movies. So I'll let you guys know any of the recs that I have. But Abe, why don't you tell the people where they can find you online?
It's Laburu Anikulapo, the Jin of Apocalypse, the son of Darkseid. You can find me on the Osid A podcast. You can find me on Twitter at Prince A Lawal. You can find me on Twitter at Osa_A podcast. You can find me on Twitter at the Blerd Mind Pod. Follow the Inside the Mind of a Blerd podcast on Spotify and all streaming platforms. Definitely check out the YouTube. Please go like the page. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. Go buy some merch, get you a t-shirt, get you some socks, whatever you want. Go follow Anime Lately. Go follow Careful for Spoilers. Please go on Twitch and follow Spicy Lady Gaming. Have a great weekend. Stay scary, my friends.
Vash?
yo, there's two places: Anime Lately, Careful Spoilers, and myself, Alan Judy Vash. Where to find where I will be at. In the Man of the Blerd, definitely. I don't know when I will be there to be as a guest. I'd love to be there as a guest. You know, if you ever want to invite me, you know the brand.
Wow, how passive aggressive.
So what? Is he talking to me?
I'm just throwing it to more like Abe, Steve, whoever's listening in the Man of the Blerd. Like, hey, I'd like to be a guest in the future. I don't think I have been a guest.
Oh, that's not the right way to ask me. I'm purposely going to now shun you as a result.
I know it's a funny games here.
Passive aggressiveness to me, I don't do well with. So Vash will not be on any episode in.
Yeah, I usually just ignore that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Overall,
so maybe try again in 2023, baby.
Overall, glad to be here on the show, full panel. It is fun. Thank you for Council of Villains. It's good to be back, and thank you for having me. It was fun. Follow all of the brands. All the links are down below in the description. For 3 people, if you're not watching, if you are watching, have not subscribed, click those damn subscribe buttons, because you know why? We're 3 away from 500. So if you listen to the audio podcast side on wherever you are and don't have a YouTube channel, go make a YouTube channel, because you know why? It's a Gmail. It's free. So go subscribe to the Careful Spoilers. That's all I ask for. Thank you, because you will make my Halloween weekend if I see 500 subs in a couple hours, in a couple days. I really will goddamn appreciate it. Thank you. And have a good weekend.
That would be great
spooky.
if we could hit 500 subs by the end of this weekend. That would be awesome. Well, you guys can follow me all over social media at JB Exclusive. And of course, you want to find absolutely everything that we do, just go to see4spoilers.com. Right now, we have 2 articles up that we posted in the last couple of days. The top 10 best horror movies that you can find on HBO Max. The top 10 scariest movie monsters. You can find our list over there on the website. Abe and I have been doing 31 days of Halloween over on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. 2 more days left. And again, like I said, follow me at JB Exclusive if you want to see me talk about movies all day long. Movies, comics, manga. Yeah. Again, go to the website. You'll find everything that you want to find about C4S. Find the merch store over there, the Patreon supporters over there too. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you guys on the panel. Thank you guys so much for being here. And we will see you guys on the next one.